You want to get me in so much trouble because these national and statewide firms are coming in our regions. You have to do community marketing now.
People that you see on the billboards don't want to put the time and effort in to actually be in the community and show that they're, and that's kind of the new differentiator.
You have implemented human touch points across the entire client journey.
Niches get riches.
Welcome to another episode of the Jon Marc Podcast. This one is one I have personally been waiting for. We are talking to my very good friend, Cassidy Lewis. We are in Norfolk, Virginia at Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers. We stole John Cooper's office for this interview. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
For those of you that don't know, Cassidy is, I need like two hands to count all the different things that you do. She is the CMO of Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers. She is the founder of the CMO Academy. She is mom and wife extraordinaire. She is a cook. We could run down the list, and she's a wonderful person. If you ever run into her at a conference or in a mastermind group, she is just full of content and information and is very, very open to sharing. And we are so happy that you joined us today.
I'm happy to be here. We are going to have fun today.
We are. Sun just got up. It's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning. We're fully caffeinated.
All right, John, where are we starting?
We are going to be talking today about the things that Cassidy has implemented or plans to implement at firms like Cooper Hurley and things that she shares through her CMO Academy to help law firms grow. I think we should start with the transition that we see even in your local market here, where you have large national law firms that previously did not have a presence in Virginia Beach, in Norfolk, coming in. When those national firms come in and start flooding a market, they don't have any presence prior to that. What is the visceral reaction that you have when you see that happening?
Ironically, Friday, so a few days ago, my account manager at Adams Outdoor, my billboard guy, called me like in a panic, left me a voicemail. He's like, "You got to call me back." I'm like, I called him back. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Did the billboard blow up?"
Usually there's not a crisis in the billboard world.
He's like, "I just got off the phone with a national competitor that's about to buy up everything. What do you want to do?" And this is just what we're dealing with now with the private equity firms and just capitalism, whatever you want to put it on. This is a reality that we are facing now. Emotionally, when I see somebody out of area in my market, I'm offended. Because it's like, you guys watch Mean Girls? Like, you don't even go here. But I have to come back to reality because I firmly believe that the years of work that we put in prior to their billboards going up, prior to their commercials, prior to their PPC, they're buying up my name. I have to believe that the work that we put in our region, in Hampton Roads, will show, right? They don't know them. They don't know those big competitors. They don't know that one lawyer all the way up in Northern Virginia. They don't know them, right? And so all they have to go off for their reputation is a billboard. Nobody's going to refer them locally. You know what I mean? They weren't doing the Vote for School program. I can't say that I have something that comes in after that. Now, am I going to change my billboard strategy? There's a possibility. But I think I have to stay rooted in the fact that we've put in the years of work, even before me getting here, that I can't stress over them.
What was that call like? Did they give you first dibs?
Yeah. They were, they called me. They're about to come to the market. They haven't purchased anything yet. Essentially, do you want to extend contracts? And I said, okay. And we work with a company to do our billboards. So I said, hey, look, send this email to me and my account manager who purchases our billboards. And then her and I are going to talk about it this week.
So when you get that call and someone's coming in, what is your first thought? Is it, hey, we need to restart our entire marketing strategy to defend them? Or you say, hey, I'm not going to focus on those people coming in. I'm going to focus on what's working and keep doing more?
The latter, 100%. I can't, there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something new. When you look at a strategy, you change tactics. You don't typically change a strategy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I am going to remain focused on my consumers. And this is another thing. This is a a fundamental belief I have in the injury world. My competitors are not the other injury law firms. I am competing against the person that does not believe they need an injury lawyer. It's something like 50 or 60% of people that get into an accident and are injured bad enough to need a lawyer that never call a lawyer. They don't trust lawyers. They think they can do it on their own, whatever it is. I'm competing to get that. I am competing their beliefs. So while everybody's fighting over those 40% of people that will call lawyers, and there's merit there, I'm trying to talk to those 60% of people that wouldn't call us without the information that I'm going to give them.
And how do you go about doing that? Because most of the firms focus on the 40.
Right. Injury law breaks a lot of marketing rules. Okay. So I have both my undergrad and master's in marketing, and it's like target market. There's also the piece that it's not like I can persuade you to need an injury lawyer. It's not like makeup, right? It's not like this new lipstick. You know what I mean? I can persuade you to get this new lipstick. Like, you have to actually be in need. So I'm of the belief that you have to meet us before you need us. You have to meet me, the brand, or the attorneys, and know that we are regular people that are injury lawyers. And that's where a lot of the community work comes in. That's where us being a resource to the motorcycle community comes in. So like, we do these classes, we partner with the organization, basically what to do if you're riding with someone and they get hit, how to keep them alive, right? But Bill also comes in and says, hey, bring your deck page, bring your insurance, and I'll tell you if you have enough insurance. Because something that we see is that these riders will get in these really bad accidents and not have enough.
Horrible accidents.
Yeah, horrible accidents and little to no insurance, right? And so there's no sell right there. We cannot sell our services right there, but they meet us before they need us.
It's interesting. It's a skill set in the B2B almost side where it's like give a ton of value with asking nothing in return.
Yeah.
Where a lot of time in consumer marketing, they don't give any value and you're just like, give me your money. But it's like, hey, how do we give a ton of value to the community and ask for nothing in return, but just know who we are, that unfortunately, if the time comes where you're injured, we're here to help you and we'd love to talk to you and help you through this horrible time.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
How do you justify or track like an ROI to these things that are intangible, where you can't directly say, hey, because I gave them this insurance thing later, 18 months down the road?
Yeah. Thankfully, the partners, Jim and Jon specifically, believe in marketing. And Jim has always had the heart to give. Always, always, always. I always tell this story. I remember when I started working here, that we got a letter from a lady just written on a piece of paper. And it was like, Jim, we're having a church picnic. Can you donate $100? It was just written, folded up, licked it, and sent it to Jim Hurley. He gave it to me. He said, hey, process this for $500. I said, we don't know. This is a scare. Like, Jim looking at me like, the little church lady? And it wasn't, there were no flowers there. There were no sponsored by Cooper Hurley injury lawyers there. And it's always been his thing. He's, he's firmly believed, he told me when I started working here, I want us to be the thank you firm. So who are we thanking? What is like, the car, be a car? He's like, oh, I don't know, you'll figure it out. And so we thank Hampton Roads through our giving. And I believe that it is my partner's job to have the heart to give or the vision, and it's my job for there to be an ROI at some point. So I have not had to defend it like some marketers may have. But I will say this. Through the years, I've sort of, built these fundamentals of what you should do first in marketing. Community marketing used to be later. But because these national and statewide firms are coming in our regions, you have to do community marketing now. They have to meet you now. You have to build those relationships now. So if a marketer is listening and they're like, I want to do these great community projects, I want to do these sponsorships, but I can't prove an ROI, you have to explain to your managing partner that these firms are coming in our area and these consumers, our residents, our citizens have got to meet us, and the ROI will be there. Right now, year to date, I want to say 60%, but it may be like 56, 55, 56% of our clients year to date are referred by other humans. Most of them in our database, but a good chunk of them are not anywhere in our database. They met us out there somewhere. My sister-in-law's insurance agent's dog referred me. Like, it's these long...
And that's compounding. So the larger you get, the more clients you serve, and just that number keeps increasing year over year.
Yes, and we do a really good job of putting people in our database. And when I got here, we were at like 12 or 15%. We were primarily digital. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're up to 50-something% now.
It's crazy that we have been talking for 5-10 minutes and you're just spitting out percentages. Like, talk about being a data-driven marketer, right? It is ingrained in your soul. I also find it really interesting that the things that you're talking about doing in the community, they are much more about investing time than they are about investing money. You do have to invest money, but it's not about, hey, can we stroke a check and sponsor this and walk away and say we were the sponsor of such and such program. How do the partners along with you as a team get the organization to invest the time in something that is effectively a non-directly attributable revenue driving activity?
A few years ago, we built Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers Cares, right, which is our giving arm. And we decided that we would focus on education and youth-based initiatives. It took us a while to get there, and there's a whole list of things we did to get there. It makes it easier to decide what to give to when your program, or if you have a foundation or a nonprofit, says these are our pillars. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that we believe in. And again, because my partners believe in marketing and believe in our community and believe in our region, it's a lot easier to sell, hey, we are going to go do this coat drive. A school, a middle school, and elementary school, they can't give a lot to you. They can't really give. I mean, we've been working, we've partnered with some schools. They really can't give a lot. We're giving, 100 coats. We do 100 or 200 coats every winter. It's not a whole lot they can give, but we're going to do a good job on our side for the digital PR, the social media marketing, other things that say, hey, look, this is what we got to do today. This is how we served Hampton Roads today. And I think them seeing it on the back end after stroking the check for the coats, for example, it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, I think part of the success that you were talking about earlier is that you have to have top-down alignment. So like, your partners believe in it. It's not you pushing them to do it and being, okay, Cassie, we'll do it. It's they believe in the project and they're willing to invest in it long term. And it's one of those things that, interestingly now too, that you used to say that you should do this later, but now it's a must do. I think it's because a lot of other firms, maybe the ones that, come in or spending a bunch of money, the main people that you see on the billboards don't want to put the time and effort in to actually be in the community and show that they're. And that's kind of the new differentiator is everyone can spend a bunch of money, but who's actually going to show up and put the time and effort in? And people realize that there's a real human around here and showing up in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is one of the big differentiators. We have a large marketing department for our size firm. We're about a 50-person firm, and we are currently looking for a 5th marketer. And it allows for us to be all the spaces where a lot of these large firms will have a marketing assistant. And it's like, oh, the managing partner is really leading the efforts. But when you have a team our size, we are able to be spaces where other firms just cannot. We're able to do because then, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but the marketing operations side is just something that's not appreciated, right? To the logistics of an event. Jesus Christ, the logistics of an event.
I had this conversation with Jon last week.
Then the post, the press release. Well, the press release, yes, it goes to CAMG, but then it also has to go to all the different newspapers. And did we tell the news? Well, who from the news and which stations? And you know what? We do this. And then they have all of the logistics, all of those pieces that people do not appreciate. They see your name and lights, and it's like, yeah, we can buy that. But the differentiator of being in community marketing, also, you have to layer on the piece of the operation side. And do you have enough people to get it done?
When you're looking at those marketing operations, and let's talk about from the point where a client first meets the firm all the way, let's talk about a year beyond when their case gets resolved, right? There's so many different touch points there. We're living in an age now where firms are starting to, and all businesses are starting to automate different components of that entire client journey. What do you feel like are the pieces that are irreplaceable and always have to be touched by a human? Give us 2 or 3 different touch points that you cannot foresee ever being automated.
You want to get me in so much trouble. I, Cassidy, am not of the belief here in 2025, year of our Lord, that that intake should be automated. I think a human needs to get on the phone, hear what's going on. Is this a high five?
Yes. I said this on the last episode, 2 episodes ago.
Needs to get on the phone and hear what that client is going through and decide if we are going to take that case on, and then sell that person on why we are the best firm. So I think intake, I've seen it. I just posted about this on LinkedIn. My son, I was trying to set up an optometrist appointment. The optometrist, he went to Harvard and he was awarded and blah, 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 blah. And he had an AI intake system. And I never made the appointment. Not because I didn't want to. I was trying to. I couldn't. It didn't understand what I was talking about.
Well, the technology, I don't think that technology is there yet. We're getting close, right? It could take a message, right? It could give you like a little bit of canned feedback. I think eventually we'll get to a point where there are pieces of intake that could be automated. But beyond intake, right? You have implemented human touch points across the entire client journey. One of my favorite stories was when you were talking about how in your database, you keep track of kids' names, favorite sports teams, colleges. Like it's incredible, like the level of personalization that goes into your marketing. How does a firm do that at scale?
One thing I tell people, one, we have a 5-person, soon to be 5-person marketing team, and we've built this thing through the years, right? So you can't jump in with everything that Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers is doing. You have to figure out what you can do, systemize it really well, and then add the next step, right? So that, for example, that personal nugget is what we call that, Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers. Jim has always said to do that, right? These paralegals and legal assistants, they talk to their clients all the time about any and everything. If the client says, I can't make a 5 o'clock appointment because little Johnny has soccer, the personal nugget there is that little Johnny plays soccer. You know what I mean? It's just you have to open your ears or have that active listening there for it, right? If we say, well, tell me, did you do anything fun over the weekend? Oh, I watched the Eagles win. Well, we know that person's a winner, right? Because he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Right? Eagles fan, right? So you just have to have that active listening. That's something that cannot be done by AI, right? That got systemized, and then we check behind it and we do audits of client files to say, hey, you guys, 50% of your client files don't have a personal nugget. How do we get you to 60%? And that takes work, and it's my team that does those type of audits.
It's super interesting because these conversations are, so you said you have a master's in marketing. Is that correct? It's like traditionally, that's not like a scalable effort that people want to put into. They want to guess what your profile is. They're like, oh, he's an Eagles fan, so I could put him in this bucket. So my marketing messaging will just hit with him in a certain way. So I can sell him this jersey or sell him this product and market to him correctly. But people don't put the effort into to have those unscalable touch points to make like a unique interaction. And I think it's super important because you're one of the very few services where you're actually like interacting with your client for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So like if you go to the dentist or the optometrist, you're in that appointment for maybe an hour max, and then you see them again the next year for an appointment. If someone signs up with Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers and they were in a horrible accident, but from the time they sign up to the time things are resolved could be years.
Right.
And so they have a deep relationship with you. And it's like the more you can know about that person and have that real close touch is important over the long term.
I'm hell-bent on impressing my clients.
Yeah.
It's not like there are different levels of referrals. It's like, call CAMG. Call them. Then there's like, no, you have got to call CAMG. Let me tell you why. I need to impress my clients enough that they are hell-bent. And then they call them, hey, did you call? Did you do that? What I said? Okay, this is the number. In fact, let me put you in an email with, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, we get referred all the time. And this is who I use after my car. Because I use Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers. No. I need Cooper Hurley Injury Lawyers is the only law firm I'd ever call for anything. Even if it was a divorce, I'm still calling them and they'll refer me to somebody they trust. That is a level of referral that I need.
You've done the same level of marketing intensity to your referral partners as you have your direct consumers. Do you manage that within the same team that manages the consumer marketing, or do you have a dedicated referral marketer that handles all of that communication?
The marketing team works as a unit. We're a family. but I do have a referral specialist. And then in addition to that, John Baker, one of the partners here, he's over attorney marketing because respectfully, attorneys respect other attorneys. And so it makes sense to have him sort of the point of contact for them. So yeah, it's marketing team with an asterisk because you got to add John Baker in there.
What are some of the things that work to market to other attorneys to show them that if they get a case that makes sense for Cooper Hurley to handle? Because you guys, you're known as the car crash experts, but you also have expertise in railroad accidents. You have expertise in motorcycle accidents. There's a need for a firm like yours. How do you get that message out to other attorneys?
You'd be surprised at how many attorneys don't know that they can receive a referral fee. We were just talking about this like 2 weeks ago. Part of the messaging has to be informational, has to be educational. Some practice areas cannot give a referral fee, so they don't know that they can receive a referral fee, right? So letting them know that there's something in it for them, and then also letting them know that we are the experts, because you can be a family law lawyer and maybe, you could handle that injury case, but do you really want to? Do you really have the time? Do you really understand the state laws? Do you really understand insurance? Let us do that for you. That's sort of our guerrilla marketing. We do advertise. We do a lot of B2B marketing, but then having structure around what our touches look like with our attorneys, like making sure that our attorneys are on a system for reaching out to other attorney friends, going to lunches, telling us, hey, this attorney moved. My team knows already if an attorney gets a new office, we're sending them a Keurig immediately. Nobody has to think about it, right? Somebody makes partner, we're sending them an engraved business card holder. We already know, like putting those systems in place, just like we did with our clients for the B2B side, has made a world of difference for us and the amount of intakes that we get from our attorney friends.
How big is that database of potential referral firms that you're marketing to today?
Probably about 2,000, like 1,700, 2,000.
Ooh. In that referral base, do you have find a sweet spot of success and the type of law that refers the most? Is like family law, or is it all over the place?
It's so embarrassing because we thought it was going to be smaller injury firms, and we found out that's offensive. They're like, no, we can handle big cases too. Just because our name isn't on a billboard doesn't mean we can't handle it. My bad. But it's everything outside of injury law, because injury law breaks all the rules. Anybody can be in an accident. Anybody can be in an accident with an 18-wheeler. So it could be our family law attorney whose cousin such and such, or it could be the workers' comp attorney 2 doors down. So it really is a mix. I haven't found a practice area that refers most. It's really about relationship.
I think this is a good time to talk about the launch of the CMO Academy and how you have taken some of the systems that we've spoken about today and turned them into a training course. Because people I call you all the time. If I have a question about something, I'm like, I'll text you, I'll call you. And I know that if I'm doing it, that there are dozens or potentially hundreds of other people across the country. So was this an effort to save Cassidy time in taking all those calls personally, or was this something else?
People always ask me the what or the how. How did you? What did you? And I wanted people to ask me the why. If you understand a why, you can make as many hows or whats as you want. I wanted my marketing friends to approach marketing from a more strategic view instead of just tactical. I'm going to go do this community event. Why? Well, because it's good to do. Yeah, but, and so I would get those calls, right, from marketers from any and everywhere. And we email back and forth, or we talk on the phone a few times, and it'd be like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. You know what I mean? Like on a gash. It's like, it's going to fix it. We're going to help a little bit, but nothing I did could really help solve the really large problem. So I sat down for like 4.5 months. That was really hard to do. It's a lot of videos in there. But I sat down for a few months and I recorded it. I wrote everything out first, what made sense. And I think about stuff that could go in there monthly or weekly. Like I could do another video on such and such. I really wanted my marketing friends to really approach marketing from a higher view, from a CMO view, instead of just a marketing assistant that goes and hosts a table at the football game.
I think what you're doing is great because I believe there's a huge gap in the market today, especially in personal injury marketing, where, like you said, it breaks all the rules. And a lot of people come in from other industries and come in and fail and make a lot of mistakes, and they don't know why they're failing when they're great marketers. And it's like, only if you could learn from someone who knows what they're doing and kind of understand some of the playbook and the reasons why you should be doing things, it really helps people be more successful in these roles instead of just throwing money at stuff. If I was anyone in marketing, I would watch it and subscribe to everything you're putting out to be able to just get up to speed, especially if I'm coming from somewhere outside of personal injury. It's like a cheat code. Also, in personal injury, there's this weird thing that happens, and people aren't really marketing, especially. They're not really willing to offer up what's working. They try to keep their secrets to themselves, or you're just giving. So you're giving out all the secrets. Just because you're telling the tactics and strategies that are working doesn't mean they can execute them at the same level. It comes down to the details, but giving out that information is super helpful to the community and just raises everyone else up.
Yeah. We live by abundance theory. I talk about stuff that I did here. I talk about previous experience. I did have a marketer I was talking to. He just got hired. And, you could kind of tell. He was like, yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, I know that. And I talked to him about a month later. I was like, how's it going? He was like, man, this is different. I was like, yes, injury law is different. It just is.
How have you seen just this year, right? So we're talking about over the past 9 months, how have you seen your marketing strategy shift as the pace of technology has just rocket shipped?
Primarily in digital. Right. So we're dealing with the lack of clicks, the increase of impressions. They're dealing with all these FAQs and blogs doing really well. I'm fine with FAQs. Some of these random blogs, like, I don't want you to show. I think that I've had to be even more intentional about my digital public relations. Right. And we did good. Right. But watching what these LLMs are picking up, knowing they're not scraping from Google, like knowing these things, okay, well, let's spread out. Let's go get some reviews on Yelp. Let's go get some reviews on Avo. Let's make sure these profiles are filled out and up to date, because, we kind of got off of that. It's like, okay, we have it. We check
the box.
We checked the box. But okay, wait a minute. These LLMs are picking up what from where? You know what I mean? And we're at we got a large case, a multi-million-dollar case from ChatGPT. Like we're consistently getting cases from AI. So I want to make sure that we are doing the things that it wants to see. That's probably the biggest thing that I've seen.
You answered my question with AI.
Yeah.
AI is what is shifting your marketing strategy. But the things that you went back to tactically that you're doing are really the things that really should have been done anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Reviews on Yelp. Like, I get it. We all hate Yelp. But
I forgot they're still in business.
Right, but that's where LLMs are picking reviews up from.
They are. And the assumption is that AI and the LLMs are simulating what a user would do. If they were doing really deep research on your firm, they would go beyond Google and your Google business profile and say, how did they look on Yelp? Right? How do they look on BBB? Do they have any complaints? But as humans, we cannot go through that exercise of checking all the different things and aggregating it together. Where do you think the next spot is? I'm asking you to be a little bit prescriptive here, right? Where do you think the next thing is that you are going to have to do, or the next shift that's coming in the next month, week, who knows, tomorrow, Google can throw another curveball at us.
Google throws, that's what we talk about most, Google, my beef with Google. I want to know what the next thing is. There's going to be another thing, right? So we kind of went back to, like I said, let's go back and get more Yelp reviews, because we haven't tried to get a Yelp review in years. Is it going to be video? Like, do we have to, are these LLMs going to start showing video? Are they going to start showing and they were on this podcast? You know what I mean? So I'm in
this podcast.
I am in anticipation of the next medium that LLMs will start showing and prioritizing. So, and I don't know what it will be. I assume it could be video. Like, I could see us doing a search and there's like a video popping up, not a link to a video, but a video popping up. Here's this video from, oh God, would they get it from YouTube if they're not going to scrape Google? Well, I don't even know. But you know what I mean? Like, what's going to be the next medium? Because remember when they started showing maps? We were all excited, right? So what's going to be the next medium that they show? And how do I get ahead of it today?
They're already multimodal. They're already understanding what's in videos like this,
Right.
who we are, what we're talking about, the transcriptions. I don't know. It's an interesting, we have an interesting future ahead of us. Yesterday, I saw that Google changed their /AI website. So if you go to google.com/AI, now it takes you to AI mode. And there are engineers at Google who are talking about AI mode becoming the default soon, right? We don't know what soon means, right? It could be days, could be weeks, right? Soon is all relative. When search moves to a truly AI first world where one morning we're all going to wake up and Google's literally going to be AI. It's going to be like the LLM, the ChatGPT within our standard search results. How do you think that will change user behavior, and will you be able to take advantage of that as Cooper Hurley, or do you think there are things that are going to have to shift in order for you to be able to take advantage of that shift?
I'm going to take advantage. I don't know how necessarily. And I say that because one thing that LLMs do very well, whether it's Google AI, GPT, Perplexity, they give users the information they need without it being 412 results. You know, like our mind, and I'm a bit of a dork when it comes to the human brain, but our brains, they want to do the easiest thing. They want it to be effortless. Whatever it is, they want it to be effortless, right? The real gold in these LLMs is that it's just going to give you this, and this is why. And that's it. And we're sold. And it's like, how do I become this? How do I, what does that actually look like? What are you really looking for? Because right now, ChatGPT refers us all the time. And a lot of times it's because of the community work. Well, I wanted to talk. That's great. I love that. That's really nice. I wanted to talk more about our work, our cases. And it's like, am I not doing a good job? Do I not talk about it enough? And so I think that people are saying, oh, it's going to take so long as a culture for us to get used to AI. I don't think so. And it's because of the simplicity of it, right? It just simplifies everything, because even the map pack, it shows you name and phone number, and you can go look at reviews, but then there's a mixed bag of reviews and blah, 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 blah. If you look at AI mode, it just tells you to choose one of the three that they suggest, and this is why, and that looks really nice. And if AI said it and it feels like a human, it feels like a referral. I don't think it's going to take, remember it took decades for us to start saying, oh, you got to Google it. You got to Google it. I don't think it's going to take that long.
I didn't like the AI results at first, but it's getting much better, because what I've realized it's doing, it's trying to give me the result that I actually want when I do my Googling. So before I do my Googling, I had to say if I'm going on vacation, I'm a psychopath. I'm doing TripAdvisor reviews, and then I'm going to the Google Maps reviews for hotels. Then I'm going to look in Reddit. And now it's just doing all that for me to summarize the recommendation I was going to get to already. So it knows how I'm going to be searching all the different sources, and then it's giving me the recommendation that probably was going to, or most of the information I'm looking for to make that final decision down to 3. And I've been enjoying that result so far.
Effortless.
Yeah.
It's effortless.
Yep. One of the things that many firms struggle with is ranking for best queries, right? Who's the best injury law firm? Who should I hire? Who has the best results for my car accident case? You branded the firm as the car crash experts.
Dun, 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 dun.
Can you talk about that process, how you landed on that? How is that bar compliant? Because many firms struggle with being able to say expert or best.
We were working with an advertising agency. This is Jim. Jim decided we needed a newer slogan. Our slogan used to be, your injury, our fight. A good slogan. And he wanted something that was more concise, a little more punchier. And so our advertising agency sort of came to us with a good number of ideas, maybe 6 or 7. I don't know if they actually gave us the car crash experts. I think they gave us the crash experts. And then about 80% of our cases are car crashes. And so we added the car crash experts. Everything we do, I say everything, a lot of what we do, we run past the bar. And we sent it to them, and then there was some back and forth about it because the expert term is an issue. But they agreed to it. And that was all she wrote. I don't get into, I'm a marketer. I don't get into legal disputes. That was all she wrote. Now we're just in the process of getting it trademarked.
When I get the answer I want, I just move along. I don't ask any more questions.
But the takeaway here is that you went through the proper channels, you got it sanctioned, and then you use it. And for firms that maybe are struggling with differentiating themselves in their market, maybe coming up with a slogan and using that everywhere, getting it sanctioned, making sure that you are completely above board, that is one way to do it. It's definitely better than just changing your Google business profile name to include keyword stuff.
And it does come up in the LLMs. They'll say, they're known as the car crash experts.
What's your opinion on, I don't want to say niching down as a personal injury firm or setting your expertise versus being broad? Because we work with firms across the nation. We're the best firm, we'll take everything. But that messaging kind of gets lost. What's your opinion on kind of niching down or kind of going in a car crash expert? Obviously, you guys will take any kind of case almost that's an injury case. But what's your opinion on that?
Niches get riches, right? And you know what I like about what happens with the car crash experts? When somebody is searching a premises liability, we still pop up. And those pages don't have anything about the car crash experts up there, right? So because I was very concerned about missing out, because we take prim cases, but we only take really, really good prim cases. And then we take FILA cases, which are really national. So our car crash expert branding is here locally. And our FILA cases and our Amtrak cases, our railroad cases, we don't obviously put anything like that. So they don't know us to be that. But even when people are searching locally, right, they've seen our billboards, they've seen us in the community, and they go to, slip and fall at such and such. We pop up and none of that car crash expert branding pops up. That doesn't mean they don't see it somewhere, et cetera, et cetera. We train intake, but I think I'm going to say it's working. I think that anytime you can customize your messaging to make it feel like you were talking to that one consumer, you're on the right track.
Absolutely. A ton of helpful information that you shared today, Cassidy. For those of you who are really interested in getting to know Cassidy's strategies, tactics, her why, highly recommend you go to thecmoacademy.com. Right? Take a look. The first, I believe the first video is free. People can take a look and watch that, get to know Cassidy, see the format, make sure you feel comfortable with it. But I highly recommend, it's probably going to be the best $1,000 that you spend for your firm to take a look at those videos. And it sounds like you're constantly adding new content there as well. So
yes.
Remember, continued education, write it off.
Cassidy, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys so much.